Season 3 of Finlandia Fridays. My name is Michael Babcock, and I am your host for this weekly podcast here at Finlandia University. We have some big news as we enter Season 3, as we're going to be introducing the Finlandia Podcast Network. Really exciting times. Before we do that, let's introduce you to our guest this week, Bree Gorman. Bree, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mike.
Bree just joined our department. We'll learn all kinds of stuff about her in a minute, but before we do that, I want to dive into this Finlandia Podcast Network, because this is really exciting times for us here at Finlandia.
Yeah, I think we made the choice to expand how many podcasts we do as a department, and with the Finlandia Podcast Network, we're hitting all of our audience in different places. The community, our current students, our alumni, potential students, athletics. I think we've really expanded to hit all those points.
Yeah, and before we go into the new stuff, let's talk about what we have now. Finlandia Fridays is here. This is Season 3. We've gone through 2 full seasons. It's been a lot of fun. One of the longest running podcasts in higher ed, which is pretty cool. But let's take a look at our new set. We have a new table. We have the background's kind of the same, but it's a whole different look here, including a couple new pieces of equipment that are going to make it a little bit more enjoyable for you to listen to. And a big show note is we are moved now to 99.3 The Lift, which is actually the official station of Finlandia University Athletics. But Finlandia Fridays can now be found there every Friday morning. So check that out. Make sure you keep going. We also have our email newsletter still going. So if you go to finlandia.edu/Fridays, you can check out all the show notes, the full archive, and be sure to get alerts when there's new ones coming. And let's go into the next one, which is Lying Around.
Yes, Lying Around is our student podcast. It is hosted by 2 of our current students. They are both seniors, Gina Galici and Monica Freeman. They both live in our servant leadership house and are very involved on campus. And that's really what we were looking for in podcast hosts, was people who were super involved, knew our campus very well, and they have a great back and forth. There's a lot of laughter, a lot of sarcasm, and it just is incredibly fun to listen to, especially when we're recording each episode.
Yeah, the first one dropped on Monday. So go into the feed, go find that. It's actually, I thought the first one was really cool. They were in Finlandia Hall, which is part of the whole gig. It's lying around, so it's our lions around our campus. And they were at Finlandia Hall. Talk about that first episode.
So we choose our locations based on the topic that the hosts choose. So they actually come up with what they want to talk about, and then we try to get a location around campus that matches that. So they really talked about the difference between coming here their freshman year versus coming here for their senior year, and how much stuff they brought or now didn't bring. And Finlandia Hall seemed like the easiest place to do that. That's where they both started here. They walked in at different times, actually, at different semesters. So Gina was a spring semester and Monica was a fall semester. So they have different experiences. And it's very cool to listen to how their views have changed over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and it's the beginning. You'll get to hear them introduce what they do on campus. And like so many of our students, they're involved with a lot of different things. And that's part of the joy at Finlandia. There's so many opportunities. We were just talking about Finlandia Hall. That's what brings us into the next podcast, which is This Week in Finlandia Athletics. This is kind of something that started last year. Travis Cornwall, who was a guest on our campus or on Finlandia Fridays last year, started something, and it was played on the FM radio station. We thought it was really neat. And this year we're taking it another step forward. And the first one dropped on Thursday afternoon, and that was actually live from Finlandia Hall. A very cool moment for for us, as it's a chance for our coaches, our players, to get on a live radio broadcast on 99.3 The Lift. And we also record it, and therefore getting it out through the podcast network. So check that one out. That'll be going every Tuesday moving forward, 9 a.m. Rick Allen, a big shout out to Rick Allen. He's been a big supporter of ours and very helpful through this process. He's the host of that show, as well as all the different coaches coming in. So it's that one's going to be a lot of fun. And then the final one we do, I'll let Bree talk about this one a little bit. It's called Leading the Pride.
Yeah, Leading the Pride came about kind of this summer when we were reaching out to more of our alumni, seeing where they were at, seeing what they were doing, and we found that they're doing some incredible things no matter what department they came from, no matter where they are in the country, and we wanted to make sure that we brought something to them no matter where they were at. So Leading the Pride is our alumni podcast. It's monthly, and it is based with our alumni coordinator.
External relations
coordinator, and she interviews our alumni via Skype call, actually. So she is on Skype with them. You can hear them really clearly, and they talk about what about Finlandia has taken them from where they are now back all the way to where they started here and how they kind of got there. And there's some very cool stories there.
Yeah, we were talking this summer in our planning about who we were going to be talking with, and we were all just in awe of the guest lineup we have to start. So The first, I'm sure it'll continue this way, but the first 4 or 5 or 6 of them are going to be really quite amazing. And Olivia Myers is the host of that.
Yes.
She's great. You guys will really you'll enjoy getting to know her and the conversation she's going to have with our alumni.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings us back to, well, actually, before we go into that, if you go to finlandia.edu/podcast, you're going to be able to find the full archive, all the episodes of each of the shows, and some links to subscribe. We'd love to have you guys subscribe to each of those podcasts to make sure you don't miss any of the good stuff we have going on our campus. But moving away from the podcast, let's talk about you. Briana, where are you from?
I'm an Illinois native.
Illinois.
So, yep, it's a little farther south, still Midwest. But I grew up in the central Illinois area for most of my life. I went to college there. And so then after college, I moved to Chicago for a few years. And that was my last destination before coming up to Hancock.
Awesome. Let's talk about your role here. What do you do at Finlandia?
I am our digital media specialist in our marketing and communications office. I lend a hand to quite a few different things around here. I focus quite a bit on giving our social media kind of that cohesive look, from the lighting to the colors to the voice that comes out across our social media, as well as some content creation, lending a hand to our photography department. Quite a bit of us in here do that. I just have really enjoyed doing all of that.
Awesome. Well, there's 2 really specific things that I love that you do here.
Okay.
And let's dive into one of them first. It's Snapchat. You're kind of the one that's running our Snapchat now. What's that been like?
It's not what I expected it to be, in the best way.
Yeah.
To me, Snapchat was always something that you used, chat with your friends, talk to people. They came out with the group thing, and that turned into just everyone talking at once, like those do. But we really use it here as more of a communication tool. We use it as something to tell students what's going on, to get them involved, to make sure that everybody has a way to see what's going on a platform that they're using so many times in a day. And we've also started using it with takeovers. So our students and our faculty and our staff, and actually people who come to Finlandia to be involved, artists, professionals, can take it over and show what a day in their life is like. And it's been very cool to see that, and to see the comments we get back to the Finlandia Snapchat, how we've highlighted our RAs and people are just like, I know them. And it's very cool to see that grow over time. And I'm excited to see what we do with it this year.
Yeah, and we do have some Snapchat spectacles this year.
Oh, yes,
and those are a lot of fun. So check out our Snapchat story, especially on Saturday's football game. I'm sure we'll be doing some fun stuff with that. Our username is FinlandiaU. So check that out. Follow us on Snapchat. A lot of fun. The other one is Instagram. Instagram has always been this picture sharing thing, but it's so much more than that now. Talk about what we're doing on Instagram.
Instagram is first and foremost that grid. So you flip over to a page, you see the first 9 photos, and those need to all look like they go together. They don't all have to be of the same thing. They can be of things around the campus, things of students. Our mascot, shout out to Riku, we love him. But making sure all of those things go together gives us that branding on a platform that is now kind of being used to reach people.
Yeah.
And so we've taken in the last couple of months a step towards using Instagram stories also to highlight some different things around campus than we use Snapchat for. We tend to use those in very specific ways. Snapchat is our kind of more fun and playful and what's going on, and then Instagram is where we showcase just how great it is to be here. And then in the last couple of days, actually, we've expanded to Instagram TV, or IGTV, and trying to showcase longer videos, things like our convocation that just happened, and just really showing how great it is to be a Lion, to be a part of how beautiful this community is.
I love it. Finlandia University is our name on Instagram. Check us out on all those things. That's it for the show this week. Good luck to all our fall sports teams this weekend as they all get going. Saturday, our football team will be at home. Make sure you come out and support them. Monday, our men's soccer team will be at home. Come out and support them. It's going to be a lot of fun. Next Thursday, we have our first big event from the art department, as there will be a closing reception at the Finlandia University Gallery. Check out finlandia.edu/Fridays for links to all that information. And be sure to subscribe to all of our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, TuneIn, SoundCloud, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find a full archive and show notes for all of the Finlandia Podcast Network shows at finlandia.edu/podcasts. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next Friday.